Hey everybody, Gary Glass back here. Hope everybody out there in social media land is having a fabulous day. Hey, we've been reading Napoleon Hill's The 12 Miracles of Life. It's one of his The Science of Success series of books. This one was actually written back in the late 40s, early 1950s, and the manuscript of it was just recently found in a desk just within the last year or two. And so it's just been published. What's the publishing date? Let's take a peek at that real quick. Do 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 do. We'll find it soon. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, copyright 2025 by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, which is such a fabulous organization led by their CEO, Don Green, who just keeps getting the word out on Napoleon Hill's work. It's crazy all the people that have used Napoleon Hill. Back in the day, Hill got to interview guys like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, uh, uh, Graham Bell, the guy that invented the telephone, the Wright brothers, uh, Woodrow Wilson, Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, all sorts of the most successful people to put their ideas in their ideas of success and personal achievement into his books, as well as, of course, who started him on this journey of personal development was Andrew Carnegie. Um, and they're just the best. And here's one that was written back, what is that, 50, 75 years ago, or maybe even more than 75 years ago, that's just been published, and it's gold. And who's been using Napoleon Hill's work today? Hmm. Personal development greats like Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, in regular industry, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Warren Buffett, Conor McGregor. Oh my gosh, the MMA fighter. He totally into Napoleon Hill's work, and in particular, Think and Grow Rich, which of course is Napoleon's seminal book with over 200 million published. Only one of four non-religious books to be over 200 million books published. So just amazing. So let's read a little bit more. We've gotten into chapter 4, which is the mastery of poverty, and we're just getting ready to, I think we'll finish right before the 12 great riches of life. So we'll read pages 52, 53. We'll call it a day. And then tomorrow we'll start in with, and maybe we'll read half of the 12 great riches, or maybe a little bit more tomorrow. So we're starting on page 52 at the top of the book, if you've been following along. And it goes like this. Lately, remember that the fear of poverty brings with it a flock of related fears, including the fear of physical and mental pain. I heard a story of a man who died and went to hell. During his entrance examination, Satan asked, "What do you fear most?" To which the man replied, "I fear nothing." "Then," said Satan, "you are in the wrong place. We accommodate only customers who are bound by fears." Think of it. No place in hell for the person who has no fears. I never hear the word fear that I do not think of a story told to me by Reuben Darby of the Massachusetts Life Insurance Company. When he was a small lad, his uncle operated a grist mill on a Maryland plantation on which a tenant family lived. So this is probably late 1800s. One day, a 10-year-old child of the family was sent down to the mill to request 50 cents of the plantation owner. The owner looked up from his work, saw the child standing there at a respectful distance, and demanded, "What do you want?" Without moving from her tracks, the child replied, "My mommy say send her 50 cents." In a threatening tone of voice and a scowl on his face, the owner of the mill yelled, "I'll do nothing of the sort. Now you run on back home, or I will take a switch to you." And he went back to his work. In a little while, he looked up again and saw the child still standing there. He grabbed a barrel stave, waved it toward this child, and said, "If you don't get out of here, I'll use this on you. Now get going before I." But he did not finish the sentence, for by that time the child darted over in front of him, stuck her little face up toward him, and just screamed at the top of her voice, "My mommy's got to have that 50 cents." Slowly, the mill owner laid down the barrel stave, reached in his pocket, and pulled out 50 cents and handed it to the child. She grabbed the money quickly, backed off to the door, opened it, and then ran like a deer, while the mill owner stood with wide open eyes and mouth, pondering over the mysterious experience by which a child had subdued him and got away with it. Something people on this place were not supposed to do. What an amazing story. The next sentence, verily, fear can be transmuted into courage, a fact which the child demonstrated most convincingly. Just in that story is so powerful. And I have to ask this question. Do you know what a barrel stave is? Most people don't anymore. And so I ask, and I'll just tell you now. A barrel stave. Have you ever seen a wine barrel? And you know all the it looks as though it's got all the pieces of wood put next to it and they're intergrooved. Well, one of those pieces from the top of the barrel to the bottom of the barrel that might be I don't know, an inch or two to 3 or 4 inches wide. One of those is a barrel stave. So he grabbed one of those things and threatened this little girl. Just something that just wouldn't, well, God willing, wouldn't happen today. The talking about courage, talking about a definiteness of purpose, her wanting to get that 50 cents for her mom. You know, the mom said, "Go get that 50 cents." And the little girl, it's as though she drew a line in the sand and said, "I'm getting it. I don't care." And I can just imagine within her, she was probably excited and at the same time resolute. She knew she was going to get that 50 cents. It's like, nothing's going to stop me. I will persist. I will succeed at this, and no one will stop me. What would happen if you were that way toward your goals, toward the things that you envision as the things that you want to have as a solid, physical, tangible outcome in your life today? Something to consider, huh? So the article continues. Likewise, poverty can be transmuted into opulence and noteworthy achievements, a fact which my stepmother dramatically demonstrated by lifting our family out of both poverty and despair. She recognized that no person who takes possession of his own mind and directs it to definite ends needs to remain the victim of poverty or of anything else they do not desire. That is such a powerful sentence. Actually, that whole, that those two sentences, that paragraph. I'm gonna reread it. Poverty can be transmuted into opulence and noteworthy achievements. So poverty can be turned into whatever you want. If you've got the internal resources, the courage, the discipline, the committed decision. We talked about that little girl. What a committed decision she made. I will do this. Nothing else matters. I will do this. Poverty can be transmuted into opulence and noteworthy achievements, a fact which my stepmother dramatically demonstrated by lifting our family out of both poverty and despair. So there's at least one example of that. You make the committed decision to that. You decide with strength, with emotional and spiritual strength, maybe physical strength. You can get anything you want. She recognized that no person who takes possession of his own mind and directs it to definite ends needs to remain the victim of poverty or of anything else that they do not desire. So good. Take possession of your mind. Decide what you want. Direct your mind, make plans and take action to the definite ends of what you want. That is a recipe for success. That will allow you to move forward in your life and live the dreams that you've always dreamt of for your life. Moving on that premise, which I inherited from my stepmother, I discovered the power of my own mind and took possession of it. Now, this is Napoleon Hill speaking or writing. And I have been blessed with the glorious privilege of introducing millions of men and women to the key with which they release themselves from their self-made prisons, from the situations, from the environment, from the circumstances that they lived in, that they apparently up to that moment in time had chosen to remain in. They decided to remain in poverty until they took control of their minds and then work toward their definiteness of purpose. Have you done that yet? Take control of your mind. Pick a goal. Pick an outcome, pick a lifestyle, and go to work to get it. You'll be amazed. 5 years, you have it. Boom. The difference between poverty and riches is not measurable in money or material possessions alone. There are 12 great riches, 11 of which are not material, but they are closely related to the spiritual forces available to mankind. In order that one may get a better idea of how to go about transmuting poverty into riches, the 12 great riches are here briefly described. And we are going to read those 12 great riches of life and their descriptions starting tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day. Oh, maybe I should give you the teaser. Do you want to hear what they are? Just the line items? The 12 great riches of life: a positive mental attitude. Number 2, sound physical health. 3, harmony in human relations. 4, freedom from fear. 5, the hope of future achievement. 6, the capacity for faith. 7, willingness to share one's blessings. Be generous. 8, a labor of love. Love what you do. Do what you love. Number 9, an open mind on all subjects. 10, self-discipline. 11, the capacity to understand people. And oh boy, there's another list in here. The 9 basic motives of life. So good. And then finally, number 12, economic security. So finally and only the last piece of the 12 riches of life is economic security. Amazing. And I would suggest with economic security, you have to be economically secure. You absolutely have to be. If you are not, how can you afford to study what you want to study? How can you afford to become good at whatever service that you want to be providing to society, to your fellow man, which is ultimately how you end up becoming successful financially and otherwise as well. So anyway, that's going to finish up the reading today. Such a great reading. Man, can you imagine that little girl standing up to the adult saying, "My mommies needs that 50 cents. Give me the 50 cents." And even with a barrel stave in the man's hand, ready to give her a good swat with it or a hit her, to be able to have the courage and the definiteness of purpose to say, "No, I'm staying here and I'm going to get in your face. You give me that 50 cents. Wow. Wow. Just amazing. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll start in with the 12 great riches of life, and have a wonderful day. God bless you. God bless me. God bless us, everyone. See you then. Bye-bye now.